like nerdy things.
Sure, I'm going to jump right in, get to the hard-hitting stuff. So I heard the line in the trailer, something about rebooting the cooch.
Right.
How much cooch are we talking here?
So much.
How much can we expect in this?
Oh, God. What a great show to be on.
10 out of 10
That's
cooch.
question number one.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
totally on brand. Yeah.
Like if there was a percentage of cooch, what do you think? Cooch can be a lot of things.
There's a lot.
Okay, that you left me at the suspense.
It's like 100% cooch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all cooch all day.
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and you said it's more like a reboot rather than a reunion.
Uh-huh.
Anything you can elaborate on that, or no comments, or
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what it means. Okay.
Because what's the difference between a reboot and a reunion? Technically.
There would be maybe more to come. It's a restart, and there might be
That makes sense.
Yeah.
In fairness, that wasn't my line.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was literally going to ask if you thought reboot was an imprecise word, and I guess here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, I think the interesting thing is that everyone keeps using the term special, and I think it's good to say that because that's what this feels like. It doesn't feel like it's its own. I don't know what it is. It's like its own thing, and it's kind of like we were talking. If you're an Earper, you're gonna get everything you want. But if it's your first time tuning in, also you're like, what's this? Wynonna Earp Vengeance with this super hot, sexy girl on the cover poster with this fiery gun, talented, amazing, charismatic. Yeah.
I also like
in
Waverly.
a leather jacket. But I think new people too will also just be like, oh, this is cool as its story, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So at the end of season 4, we really saw Wynonna shift from being in service to others to choosing yourself. Choosing, hokey crap. So how is she bringing that into this? That feeling of choosing yourself and choosing love?
Whoa, I love this question. How do I say it without spoiling anything? I don't think it's spoiling. I think when you choose love, it doesn't get easier just because you've chosen it. I think then the fruits of that choice bring their own set of complications, and that's the most real thing that's ever been said. Like that's universal. And so she now has made the most difficult choice for her, which is to choose love. And now she has to deal with but how do you do this? and showing up in a way that's I don't know, that's productive, I guess. For lack of a better word. Always. Listen, you've gone in the wrong place I just go to weird places.
Yeah, that was my favorite answer ever.
Yeah.
And I think it was a great way to describe this. I didn't even think about it like that, and then you said it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. That's what it was. Sometimes you choose love, but it doesn't make it any easier. And that's literally, wow.
What about for you, Sam?
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, it's just because you choose love, and it doesn't make it any easier for my character either. Yeah.
I think as much as we'd love to see these two ride off into the sunset, that's not realistic.
Right.
Is there more? Can you talk a little bit about the challenges that Wynonna and Doc are facing coming into Vengeance? Maybe they paired off together. Is it all sunshine and rainbows?
Well, but that's the thing. It's like anybody who's ever been married. You have the wedding day. Hey, congratulations, Varun. Don't listen to this because it's going to go dark. So you have the wedding day, and it's the perfect day. It's the riding off into the sunset. And then you're still the same people with the same problems. So now you're moving forward together, and whatever was going on to make you the beautiful person you are with all the problems that you have that kept getting you into trouble in relationships, you still have them. And so now they're still the same people who have the same issues, but now they've chosen to get together, but now they're facing those issues head on.
And I think tragically, I think they both know and always known that the sunset, it's just not going to happen. So they keep trying to make the sun where it isn't there. And, purgatory is a tough place to do that. Where you're busy kicking demon ass and then whatever, and then there's only time for kissy poo poo. But yeah, I think they've always been aware, even the whole time, that maybe it's not.
And
meant to be.
scared of it.
Yeah, of course.
Of going like I really want this to work and I don't think it will. So it's just hiding from that reality and acting like things are great is yeah. Oh, sorry.
Thinking about where your characters have been and where we find them in Vengeance. If they were to have a podcast together, what would the topic be and what would it be?
The Gamblers,
Oh,
I think, would be the
nice.
title of the podcast. Yeah.
Take a chance on love.
Yeah.
Huh?
Also, yes.
And then, but we don't talk about love because we
Of
avoid
course.
it.
Yeah,
We're just like
yes.
we just bicker about things
Yeah.
and avoid the topic of love, even though that's what our podcast
Yeah,
is.
exactly. The Gamblers' topic of love with Wynonna and Doc. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. We just talk about like herpes creams.
And
like,
and roulette strategies.
yes.
Yes.
And all the roulette metaphors is just like us talking about love, but a roundabout way because we can't actually talk about love because we're above.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, because there's a 50-50 shot, but then the two greens make it's never 50-50.
So good.
There's always that unknown factor that just, and I think we hit green a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yes. Yes, I'm picking it up. Yeah.
First of all, great job directing clickbait.
Oh, thank you. Co-directing.
Oh, yes, good. Either directing or just life going by in those 3 years and then coming back with different perspective, different outlook on either the characters or even acting in general, going back to something that, it's a long time ago that we first started.
The thing is, I think we both feel this way too. Like Paolo Barsman directed us. He was my mentor. And so I think we both felt. I'm talking for you, but like I felt very safe with him, and so it was very. Yeah, I've learned a ton, but also I didn't think about it once because when I'm acting, I'm not directing. I have no business telling Paolo anything or anybody. It's just like it's a different thing, and I think it would be awful to show up as a director in a scene. I think that would be disgusting. I've seen it happen before, and I was like, I don't want to do that. But yeah, I've learned a ton. Most of it is like that actors should take the pressure off themselves because it's not their job to create the best performance. It's a team thing. It's the lights. It's the music. It's the way the camera moves. And actually, we just have to show up and do our best. But and we always do that.
For me, there was fatherhood, so it changed. I mean, it always made me wonder. Luckily, we dealt with Alice with the helicopter.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it'd be like, but I always wondered if we would have played what I would have played, knowing now, not being a father, how I would have acted as a father. Because now I know it would be totally different actually being a father, how what I would probably bring to it. But then again, Doc wasn't a father, so I wouldn't know what it would have been. So it would have been interesting. But yeah.
I need to wrap it up, but thank you.
Oh, good
so
try.
much. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank
Pleasure,
you.
guys.
Let's kick our shoes off. Good. I do. Name your price, Ann. It's so good to see some of you guys. How are you? Yes. When you tweet about this, make sure you know I chugged the whole thing. Make it sound real cool. So, Vengeance. Here's what happens. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah, exactly. Here's who does. What? Who said that? Yes.
All right, so let me ask kind of a funny question.
Thank you.
Now that the word reboot is
Yes.
in
What?
there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How imprecise is that as a word?
I would say it's oh, I get it. Reboot. Yeah. So here is the thing I want you to know about Vengeance, okay, guys? If you are a hardcore fan, first of all, I love you and I will make out with you a little bit. Number 2, Yeah, awesome. Good. We can talk later. I'm going to just have this Coke Zero. Yes. You're like, you left. You got what you needed? Amazing. Good. Honestly, there's so much fun in the movie. There's so many Easter eggs, so many inside jokes, so many references, maybe a lot of fun cameos of your favorites. But Tubi really was like, and this was smart, this is what we want. They want your sexy aunt and your dog and your dog's dog and your dad to be able to tune in if they've never seen it before and hit the ground running. You just have to know that she is a sexy demon hunter who's a little bit out of control. These are the dysfunctional people in her life, and that's all you need to know. Really, you don't kind of have to have a chart of the first 4 seasons of Wynonna Earp. You'll get it, okay? So I really am proud that we walked that tightrope walk. I think we did. I think you can get your friends to watch it. They'll understand it. But if you've loved the show from the beginning or whenever, you will get all the funny insider jokes.
So having that as
Yes.
part of your plan and
Yes.
strategy, getting back into the writer's room,
Yes.
what's that like? What was the excitement, the challenge, the concern?
I don't know if you've ever written, but it was a lot. Yes, diarrhea. That's got to be the hashtag we're taking away from this, right? It was terrifying. It was terrifying. I mean, I love these characters. I've been with them for 10 years, but it had been a minute. You know what I mean? And also, it was sort of a new forum. It was 90 minutes. It was a contained story. I was intimidated, to be honest. I did have some of the other writers, but it's not like a series where we had a writing room. It was a little bit all on me, although I did have some help from some of my favorites, of course. But it's like I said, I really think you should be scared. You should be. If I just didn't give a shit, can we say shit? We said diarrhea. We're fine. If I didn't care, it would have been easier, but I wanted it to be good. I would say the timeline was tight. Like it kind of, Josh was kind of talking about, and then it was happening, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm like, Christmas is canceled, kids. Sorry. This is your Christmas present in Act 2 that actually holds together. But I think it worked out okay. And you know what? It's so often the case. Talk to me after the movie. So many things I wanted to happen that didn't happen then turn out to be happy accidents, and you can't ever imagine doing it not pregnant or whatever. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the Wynonna way, right? The mess becomes the beauty. So, yeah.
Thinking about your characters, where they started and where they are now in Vengeance, and
Yeah.
say where they end up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be long.
Yeah, of course. Go on.
Which 2 characters do you think would start a podcast together and have anything to talk about?
I feel like Nedley and Nicole would do a pretty fun podcast. That was like Crime Beat, and there would be a lot of bickering, kind of a father-daughter angle. I think at first that he wouldn't want a podcast, and then he would take over the podcast and have a lot of opinions and swag, for example. I'm not sure Wynonna has the focus to podcast, to be honest, but you tell me, which podcast do you want to see?
I don't know, Tim pitched a really good one on The Gambler.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good.
I like this show.
The Crime Beat? Yeah. Or I wonder if you could do like Waverly, Jeremy, doing kind of like weird cases and research and like really nerding out. I don't know. Are podcasters nerdy? Doesn't check out, right? Doesn't sound like it checks out. I don't know, but let's try it. Let's try it. Yeah, exactly. Let's include some nerds, guys. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when you wrapped up the end of the original run,
Yes.
it was such a perfect, beautiful.
Oh, now I'm going to do a spit take because you're right. The pressure's on.
Is there ever any? Because sometimes it's so hard to nail the landing of a series.
Oh,
And
it's
the first
impossible.
ending that you're hoping for, it's like it's wrapped up so beautifully.
Thank you.
Is there ever any thought, just like
Oh.
you're almost scared, like
Yes.
okay, you ended. Everybody wants more, but I'm kind of okay.
When you say any thought, do you mean every thought that haunted my waking moment as I go into the movie? No.
Should we just end on that?
Yeah,
high?
exactly.
But-
With everyone happy. No, that was probably my number one thing about the movie, to be honest, is first of all, I want to be careful to say this. What a gift to be able to end a series happily. We've all had series that ended on a cliffhanger that were unsatisfying to the fans. I mean, honestly, I just think that is like so unusual in this business to not be chasing a renewal and be like, no, it is more important for me to say thank you to the audience who've stuck with us. But let's face it, we ended on happily ever after, and to pull pull that thread a little bit, because story is conflict. You need conflict. You need to let characters change and grow, was incredibly intimidating. On the other hand, as with Earp a lot, we try to do stories that aren't always shown on other shows. We'll do Pregnant, we'll do other things. These characters are older. What does happen after Happily Ever After? Do you know what I mean? As you grow in your marriage, as you grow in your relationship, as you maybe want the same things or you don't. And, you know, demons aside, just like dealing with cat barf in the middle of the night and paying taxes is its own adventure, right? But there can still be romance, I think, in building a life, right? After the wedding, after you ride off into the sunset. So there's still lots of romance to be had, but I'm so proud that we let these characters grow up and become who they are now. So.
And the trailer dropping today and everything, that's, you know, from the big reveal.
Yes, how do people like it?
Yeah.
I haven't been online. Okay, good. No, I'm just like, okay, good. Yes. Well, that was a very friendly crowd. No tomatoes to be tossed.
So when you write a line like, was it Reboot the Cooch?
Yeah. I'd like to reboot her in the cooch. Yeah. Listen, I don't want to call myself the Shakespeare of my age, but I mean, hey, I still know my audience.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
And Tubi was like, you can say anything, and I was like, oh yes. Well, I will take you up on that. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, so you brought the trailer today. What's been your favorite moment about this whole, you know, the special? Right? Was it releasing the news to us? Was it?
I would say both telling the cast that we were coming back. I will get emotional. God damn you! It's 4 p.m. I'm going to cry. And just the feeling of like, I was very much like, this is such a gift, but we are doing it, all of us or none of us. We are so tight. It is not an act. We all love one another. I was like, we're all in it or we're not doing it, and that's okay. And just everyone's working around their schedule and being so thrilled to come back and do it again was so moving to me that we all wanted to do that. But truly waiting to tell you guys, just like out of nowhere, has been incredible, right? Just like a reward to this audience who has stuck with us and being like, we did it. We can't kill it with fire. We've tried. That was probably my favorite part. But like, listen, guys, coming back to San Diego Comic-Con as the writer, posing next to the beautiful people, like, hey, is not the worst. Like, that'll be in the special when I go on to the next side. I'll be like, yeah, I remember that. It's been pretty incredible to be back here. Yeah.
As fans too, it's so exciting to be back here.
Oh, thank you.
How getting it the love it deserves.
It's nice, and these guys deserve that love. They are the real deal, you know what I mean? So I think, and seeing you guys, it's been great. Like, we kind of started out here, so just like seeing people and being back, yeah, it's been great. We always feel like the underdogs, so it's pretty great they let us in the building for now. Yes.
Seeing everybody just like flowing, talking about it.
Yeah.
Flowing about it.
Yeah.
It really does.
I think too, just like being away and then coming back, both on set and to things like this, it's a bit of a cliche, but really being able to be present. Like, you knew it was special, but you were so frantic before. When we finished season 4, it was 2020. We were like one of the first productions back during COVID. So knowing like, this is like summer camp. We're going to come back and have one more chance just to really be aware of how incredible this is has been magical. Yeah. I can say something really cynical now if you want, if it's getting too gushy. Yeah, exactly. Diarrhea. Just one more time. You're welcome. Let's end on a high note. Yeah.
The way that Vengeance goes.
Yes.
Is there room for more?
Oh, you're going to be so mad at me. You're going to be so... No, wait. You're going to be satisfied. Oh, have we met? You want your Coke Zero back? Too late, maybe you can clone one of me who won't get on a cliffhanger. Yeah, exactly. Listen, I know how to play this game. Tubi's new. I gotta rope them in. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna get this shit if we don't do more. You guys are. No, I would say it is satisfying. But you may want some more stuff to happen. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, we may.
You may. Yeah, you'll want more.
You said there'll be sexy things we have to say.
Yeah.
Things to say. Would you say it's stairs level of sexy?
I would say there's lots of sexiness. There's lots of sexiness. I would say, of course, it's a very mature audience. Well, you know what? You guys are thirsty. I appreciate that you're like, I'm not even going to pretend that I'm not a thirsty pervert. I'm like, hi, I'm here. You know what I want. Yes, welcome to the club. Yes, you're right on brand, right in time. Don't worry, guys. I got you. Yeah. Thirsty pervert and diarrhea. We nailed it, guys. So great to see you guys. Thank you for coming, you guys. Honestly, thanks, sweetie. I'm taking this. Okay.
Coming back to this, now you guys have been married for 3 years or so. Have you heard of lesbian bed death? It's a thing.
It's not a thing in our relationship.
It's definitely not a thing in our relationship.
All right, there we go. So that's okay. Confirmed. That was the main part there. But coming back to what do you think you learned in your relationship with each other? The last 3 hours. Touched on it a little bit, but is there anything that was really special that you kind of got to play coming back to it, being together this long? Anything that even within from your own relationships within your life?
I think in Nicole's attempt to desperately keep Waverly safe and keep the town safe, like Nicole is just trying to keep everything okay and status quo, and I think for Nicole it's like very scary for anything to change once she's got everything calm. And I think that for Nicole is a big part of her journey, is a letting go and a releasing of the reins and a trust that she really, really struggles with, because she just so desperately wants to keep her wife and her town, just everyone just be chill, but chill is boring. And
wife and a town.
And people want to,
What are you saying?
It's a lot of responsibility.
Challenging about me.
Yeah.
I think like I interpreted the question slightly differently. I think that like one thing about like coming back to this relationship is like Kat and I have developed such a comfortability like with each other and such an ease in the way that we are, and I think that I felt so safe. I always feel safe, but when you've been out and not doing something, not playing a character for like 3 years, it's still a little bit daunting when you come back. You're like, all right, where are we now? And then the minute that we started, it was like, oh no, this is so easy. It's Wayhaught, and we know and love these characters so well, so much, and it just feels like a blessing to continue their relationship and the evolution of that relationship. And that they're living on the homestead in their beautiful queer life, and that we actually get to see it.
I love, like, I've always been such a fan of domestic Wayhaught. Like, I just think there's something almost more beautiful about seeing a couple that has been in love and grown together and fought for that relationship over and over and over again. I as I get older, I become more obsessed with people who are like, we've been married for 35 years. I'm like, that's the thing, and that's beautiful. And I'm so happy because I don't think just because we've been around for a decade now, which is crazy, but we don't get to see that on TV. How many shows do we have where we get to follow characters for that long? And then especially having this amazing queer relationship, like, that's really important. I think we've now stepped into a space of representation that, like, just by virtue of being around for that long is so special and unique and needed.
That's so true. Like, when we were doing the wedding, we were like, this is amazing, this is groundbreaking, this is what we need. But it's like, also like, seeing wives just loving one another, and also just like the ups and downs and the reality of relationship. No bed death, absolutely
no
not.
bed death. Don't worry. Don't worry. We wouldn't do that to you.
It's very clear that is not the case. But the reality of relationships as they evolve and grow.
What you mentioned about Emily, like overall where you are now, as opposed to, I don't know if it was more difficult. It's like, hey, we need to connect to Instagram, Waverly is this.
Exactly.
It's like, y'all change the characters change, and she wants to embrace that and show that, and not try to shove you into some persona that she thinks these characters will be. She's like, who are you?
Exactly. Very supportive, very generous.
Yeah, and I think that's actually very, like, unusual. I think that there's, especially within this industry, there are boxes and there are things that people try to push you in, and so to have an experience and an environment where people are just embracing all of our evolutions and actually like lifting those things up and bringing them to the forefront and going, no, like let's represent this too. That's really special.
As a couple, you guys have to allow each other to grow as well and change. And
Yeah.
representing that is also a big part of the representation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that in the special. There's a lot of what's next, and it might be scary to like let somebody grow. And what does that look like? Yeah.
Ooh, that was a little teaser situation.
So it's been a big since you guys were in these shoes. You guys are ready to get that. And again, even though it's not the first time,
Yeah.
I felt like I read it double speed because I was just like so like, oh my god, yeah, exactly. Like the excitement was just like overwhelming.
I was pretty ritualistic about it. I didn't read it for 4 days because I needed to have, my life is like a little bit crazier because I have small kids, and I needed to like, I was like, I cannot be interrupted. I need to have snacks. Like I was very specific. I was like, I need 2 hours where I know no one will interrupt. And like, because I didn't want anything to break my attention once I finally, so I made it like a bit of an event for myself. Yeah.
That's really wise. So
Yeah.
I did not. I did it
Yeah.
so quickly,
Yeah.
and I was like, I need to read this again.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. What
Yeah.
did I miss? But
Yeah.
it just felt like so. It's such an experience reading a Wynonna Earp script for the first time, because as you know, there are so many twists and turns in the adventure that like you're reading it and you can almost feel like you're holding your breath.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a.
It was
wild ride.
really hard not to do that. Because I wanted to flip to the end. I wanted to, but I was like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Savor every
it.
line.
Yeah.
Thinking about your characters as where you start from thank you so much.
Yeah. Ooh, like as our characters?
Oh my gosh.
Wifey wisdom.
Oh yes, I love it.
With like maybe some like marriage. Like I like those podcasts that are like honest about marriage and relationships in the long term, where they're like, this is what's really working for us, and like bringing people on, and
I'm down.
Yeah,
Let's
wifey
start it.
wisdom.
I'm ready.
Sound like when it came to the podcast.
I think Nicole would tread very carefully.
I do think though that Waverly and Nicole have really great conflict resolution.
Yeah.
I think that that's probably the like key to their relationship, is they're good at talking and communicating.
Communication.
Being
I think
honest
they're
and
good.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah. With like what's coming up as it's coming up. I think Waves is probably someone who like can't hold stuff in. Like when it needs to come out, it needs to come out, in that like firecracker way. Just like, okay, babe, I need to.
Yeah, and
we need to
Nicole's
talk.
like, I was just about to leave for work. What do we need to talk about now? Yeah. We need to do this right now.
Yes,
okay.
we do.
All right. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.